Every AI tool you pay a monthly fee for has the same conflict of interest. The company charges you a flat rate and pays for the AI usage out of that, which means the less the tool does for you, the more they get to keep. In other terms, the more they make. I build the opposite way, and I want to tell you exactly what that cost me. What is this BYOK? Let me explain that. And then I'll give you multiple pointers. I will also show you a screen with examples, real life examples. And before I get into details, I want to mention a few things. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, you may not see the screen. In that case, get on YouTube, check on the video. However, I'll try to make it as clear as possible so you get enough just by listening to the audio. I'll try to simplify and break it down for you. What is BYOK? BYOK stands for Bring Your Own Keys. API keys. API, which stands for Application Programming Interface, where one application talks to another applications in the backend through that key. You get your own key from Anthropic, OpenAI, DeepSeek, Google, whoever, whichever LLM companies. You paste it once and the tool uses your key. The bill goes to you from those companies directly at their rates. You never see the key. It stays on their browser. 8 providers, well, I rather say multiple providers, so nobody's locked in. Quick example of those 8 providers. You have Anthropic, which is Claude, fantastic for reasoning, complex stuff, long context, code. You have OpenAI, of course, everyone knows and uses ChatGPT. General purpose, Vitis tooling. You have Gemini, which is Google, which also has Nano Banana, which is fantastic for images. Then you have DeepSeek, made in China, very popular, very reasonable, cost effective, especially awesome for high volume stuff and definitely experimental work, and also strong at code. Then you have Grok, GROQ, awesome for speed, latency. Then you have Mistral, European hosting, open weights. Then there's Open Router, where you plug one key, multiple models, good for testing, experimenting. Then you also have XAI, another option in the mix. There's quite a few others, but I like to stick to these 8. And out of 8, I do have top 3, which I'll discuss down the road. Again, multiple use cases, different models. So on a subscription model, you're limited to what the company provides, whatever the vendor picks. On your own key, you get to pick. There's no limitations. You're not locked down to any limits, no subscription fee, monthly, whatsoever. You're also not locked down to any kind of API keys. You can switch back and forth between all the 8 whenever you need on demand. This is the freedom most people don't realize that they're giving up. So what it costs them versus what does it cost me? Those companies and vendors where you pay a subscription for using the service, they buy in wholesale and they lock you down with limitations. Hence, their margin is significant. And a lot of the users, retail users, ain't comfortable using API keys because most of them think that you have to be a tech-savvy individual, you have to be a software developer in order to understand how keys work. But once you really get into the basic, it's literally plug and play. API keys, just a long form of like a password, bunch of numbers, symbols, letters. You can get it from DeepSeek, their platform. OpenAI has their own key. Claude has their own key. Nano Banana own key. Simply get on their platform, get the key, plug onto the software, the tool, especially the ones I built, and you can use whatever service unlimited. And you don't pay me anything. Like I said, I only charge for software, not tokens. You pay directly to those services. So if you're using an image-based tool created by yours truly, all you have to do is plug your key and there's no limit. You can generate hundreds of images on demand, and whatever charges come out, you have to pay the company directly. If I price my bundles the normal way, as a subscription with tokens included, I would be making anywhere from 3 to 5 times more. And like I mentioned, I make nothing on your usage. Zero, nada. You can run my tool 10 times or 1,000 times. It's pretty much the same thing. You just pay me for the software, not for the tokens. And on the other side, if you're using a subscription-based tool, software, not only with limitations, but most often, if you don't utilize the tokens on time before your subscription due date, they just get wasted. So at the end of the day, the software, the vendors, or that company is making more money out of it while capping you on your usage. Before I get into my next pointer, I want to show you a live example right now. This is digitaldfy.com, and what you see right now is level 2 tools, which are powered by your API keys. If you get on the creative and image section, you have multiple of these tools. I plan on adding quite a bunch down the road. Facet, one selfie plus a style pack, fantasy, retro, cyberpunk, meme ad generator, color palette builder, expression studio, face photo plus 3 mood variants. You upload your own image and you can pick some of the moods: angry, happy, smiling, whatever, and you'll get all the 3 images right on demand. AI headshot brief composer, mood sampler, 1 face photo to 4 to 10 expression variants from a curated palette or custom mix. Logo brief builder. You can also build a logo based on your API key. Facet is very popular. I've seen several companies charging a very decent subscription fee for this with limitations. Where you upload your image, you get fantasy images. You in Lord of the Rings, or you in some of the movies or whatsoever. I'll show you a real life example right now. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, awesome. But if you're listening to this on podcast platforms, you probably won't be able to see the screenshots or screen. However, just imagine, and I'll try to keep it very simple. Your face, every style, 0 accounts. Upload 1 selfie, pick a style pack, fantasy, retro, cyberpunk, anime, pro, headshot, etc. Clearly, step 1, pick a model and paste your key. You have Nano Banana 2, Nano Banana Pro, which is the best quality for images. A bit expensive, but nothing compared to what you'll be paying to the companies as subscription. Google AI API key. If you notice, it's encrypted. It stays on the browser. I don't get to see your key whatsoever. You get it from the providers. It's very simple. Get on Google or just type it out, search Google API key, get the key, set up your billing with them. You plug it onto this, and next, add 1 clear selfie. In this case, I'm just uploading mine. Pick a pack, then how many? You have Fantasy Hero, Cyberpunk Neon. This is a very popular app. And like I said, a lot of you might be aware of this. Retro 80s, vintage, pop art, comic book, steampunk, watercolor, dark academia, cosplay warrior. And yes, LLMs are not perfect. Sometimes you may need to do a couple of times to get the best output, but it's getting a lot better. Custom style, describe your own style, 80 characters max. How many images? I'm just gonna stick to 3 right now. You can choose max 10 in this example. Let's go with anime. Polished anime illustration, clean cell shading. And make sure this is your own image. You have full copyright permissions to use. And before I click on this, generate 3 images, just wanna make sure you understand. BOIOK client-side demo of a bundle pattern, your key, your data. The key stays in your browser's local storage. The photo goes from your browser directly to the model API. Digital DFY is not in the path. Your last run is cached on the device for 24 hours. So refresh or tab close doesn't lose work. Awesome, isn't it? 1 pack, many calls. 1 selfie plus account you choose means that many sequential API calls, each a different variation of the pack. And number 3, pay the model, not a markup. I don't make any money from you actually generating all these images. You're paying directly to the providers. There's no subscription, no per image markup. You pay your providers raw API cost. Ready? You be the judge. That's number 1 right there. Yes, that's your truly anime number 1. You have anime number 2 right there based on the image I just uploaded. Guess how much I'm making from this? 0. This is level 2, absolutely free tool. You're simply paying Google for using their Nano Banana model, and that's number 3. Again, personally, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Look at this output right there. Now you can download the images in PNG form, and you can use it wherever you want. Thumbnail, use it as your DP profile pic, cover photos, sky's the limit. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you clearly know that there are software and subscription vendors or models or companies, or let's say, who charge you a very decent fee, monthly fee, for using or generating a bunch of these images. This is just one example. There's several different styles: fantasy, vintage, retro. And before I get off and get on my next pointer, this is another of my projects, unapologetic.ai. It's a scanner. I don't want to go too deep into this, but it has pain points, trends, competitors, opportunities. You get a bunch of stuff. If you need ideas, $1 million ideas you need to work on, this is the platform. And guess how much I'm charging? $9.99 per month, only for the infrastructure and the software. Even if you wanted to personally create something like this, you'll need domain, you'll need hosting, enough resources, which will cost you way more than 9.99. And yes, this is a founder's edition. The price is locked in only for the first couple of customers, clients. Once we have enough users, the price will probably go up to 19.99 or so. But keeping that aside, I'm only charging you for the tool, the infrastructure. This is also BUI-OK model, which means if you go to settings, if you notice, it has AI providers right there. Anthropic, OpenAI, Claude, well, which is Anthropic. You have Google Gemini, XAI Grok, DeepSeek. Latest, we added the ZAI GLM, Mistral AI. I plan on adding Kimi. You have OpenRouter, which means, again, you're plugging in your own API key from the providers to use all these features here. The scanner, the stock intel, news intel. This is just one of the examples. Guess how much it costs you for each scan? Pennies or micro pennies? Yes, not making this up. 0.001 cents or whatsoever. If you're using DeepSeek, it's extremely cost effective. And a lot of people are put off by the pricing. Dude, how are you charging 9.99 when there is Bloomberg Terminal and stuff which is charging hundreds per month? Yeah, I'm not comparing this with Bloomberg. And there's some of the individual thing. Oh, maybe this is a broken tool, or maybe this is a scam. You can't charge for like 9.99 for this. It's just not possible. But like I mentioned, BUI-OK model, I charge for software infrastructure, not for tokens. And this is real. It works flawlessly. Multiple use cases, latest headlines, sources. Again, just an example. Now, coming back to the main topic, couple of reasons why I believe in this model. The conflict of interest. If you're paying for someone's tokens, every design decision has a thumb on the scale. Shorter outputs, cheaper models, they'll dumb it down, your output may suck, tighter limits. All of these, if I personally implement it, would make me a lot more money, but it'll cost you quality. I personally have bought into a lot of lifetime software, subscriptions and stuff, and I've personally experienced this. In my case, I don't get to see nothing. It's not routed through my server whatsoever. There's no database. It's an architecture where I really can't break the promise, even if I wanted to. And even if I wanted to leak your data, I can't, because again, it doesn't go through my server. Your key, you have full control. This is how I'm able to give away all these free tools, 200 plus free tools, because it doesn't cost me much or barely nothing. I only pay for infrastructure and got a bunch of things. All the other stuff is your key. That's what's used to provide the output. A lot of the users, like I mentioned earlier on, gets freaked out when we discuss API keys, LLMs. I'm talking about the average daily users, because they're more comfortable using the user interface, the front end. Fancy, all you have to do is plug and play. You click a button, you get the output. But once you understand the simplicity, the backend, just how easy it is to get the API key and plug it onto your browser, generate unlimited images. Once you understand this and get used to it, you're not only saving money, but you have full control with zero limitations. Now let this sink in. And yes, nobody's going to tell you that, because you're going to put a dent on their margin. The API key sits on your own storage, local storage, your system, and it runs on the browser itself. It never gets sent to my server. I don't get to see it because there's no server in that path. You close the tab, Google, whatever. If you close the tab, it still stays there unless you completely like clear cache and whatnot. It still stays there. You turn off your system, you turn on the next day, open the tab, and it's still there. And you can generate again whatever you need to on demand. So even if I wanted to leak your keys and whatnot, I can, because I have zero access to it. And if you feel unsafe saving it on your browser, you can always clear your cache. Next day, whenever you want to use it, simply get the key, plug it back in, and voila. And now this is the most important advice. Important, very important. You can, and which I suggest, not you can, you should set a spend cap on each of these API keys. And I believe all the providers have that feature, which means you can actually prepay $20, especially DeepSeek. Pay $20, set a limit, rate limit. So in case for some reason your system gets hacked, key gets leaked by whatever reasons, the rate limit is going to protect you from overspending. Set a limit. $10 max, $20 max. That will save you a lot of headache and a lot of money in case something bad happens. Every provider has one, but unfortunately most people just forget about it, either due to too much excitement. If ever a key gets exposed, just rotate it at the provider level. It literally takes 30 seconds. You can also delete the old key, generate a new one on demand. Rotate it. You can also use a separate key for separate tools if you need to. The examples I've shown you earlier on, you can get multiple Nano Banana tools, or rather say Nano Banana API keys for different tools. You don't have to use one, just in case you are comfortable with that. Where is BUIK the wrong answer? Well, honestly, I don't have a proper answer because no customers ever told me that yet. But in case you're uncomfortable using BUIK, basically the model, or with API keys, because like I said, the most common issue, oh, I'm not techie, I have to be a software engineer or programmer to be able to use the key. Not really. That's a misconception. If you have never touched an API key before, I get it. It's a wall. Account settings page, generate, understand spend caps. You have to paste it. Every step actually loses people because it kind of seems overwhelming. But again, like I mentioned, once you understand the process, the SOP, it gets a lot easier. And if that's you, uncomfortable with API keys, go with the subscription model where you're gonna pay a lot more. Of course, you have a lot of limitations, no control whatsoever. If the data gets leaked, well, unfortunately, can't do much about it. And that is completely reasonable. I understand, especially when you're starting out. The receipts problem. Let's discuss that just for a bit. AI agents report on their own work. Often, what they say and what actually ran is totally two different things. And there is no easy way to check it. Because yeah, they do hallucinate. You can't always take their word for it. So I wrote an open source tool, which is on GitHub, that actually read the transcript and answer specific questions. Did the claims match? Did secrets leak into the log? What irreversible things happened? Where your instructions followed? Where did the tokens go? Zero dependencies, free, and it's public on GitHub. I rather build a thing that lets you verify me than the thing that asks you to trust me. Let me repeat. I'd rather build a thing that lets you verify me rather than trust me. 3 questions for any AI tool. Number 1, whose key is it running on and where does they live? Number 2, does this price scale with their usage? And if it doesn't, who eats the difference? Number 3, can you actually check what it did, or do you just take word by word for it? This is all I have for this episode. I suggest spare a few moments and check on my projects, digitaldfy.com. Don't take my word for it. Get API keys from the providers, plug it onto the level 2 tools and see it for yourself. Like I said, verify my work. Don't have to trust me. In the next 2 episodes, it's going to be a very popular topic. So I really want you to watch them, listen to it. If you're on Spotify, Apple, 2 episodes. Next one, if I'm giving away all these tools for free, 200 plus free tools, where is the money coming from? Where I'm actually making money from? Yeah, I know. I'll break it down. And then, following episode, why everyone hates AI and why that is the wrong response. One of the very popular trending topic. People hate AI, but that's not how it's supposed to be. I do understand. I can relate, and I'll give you my 2 cents on it. So again, ladies and gents, and all my friends, I appreciate your time. If you like what you see, subscribe on YouTube, leave a nice 5-star rating on Apple Podcast, join me on Spotify, Amazon, wherever you're watching and listening. I appreciate your time. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.